I am Vidya Pravina, a verbal faculty from SIEC, Sonia International Education Center, which is an overseas educational consultancy. It's a premier one. It also deals with migration and recruitment services as well. So, as I'm a verbal faculty, I'm here to take a session on text completion, how to crack a text completion question on the GRE. As you know, um, we should have knowledge of vocabulary in order to get the answers right, as it is based on difficult words. The options are all difficult words which you have to choose. So unless you know the meanings of words, it's difficult for you to get the answer right. And let us look at some strategies how to deal with the text completion question. As you know, text completion has a single blank, a double blank, and triple blanks also. So the same strategies hold good for all single, double, and triple blank questions of text completion. Okay, let us look at the strategies. First, you have to know the vocabulary, as I said before. You should remember the words learnt with the help of memory techniques, which are called mnemonics. So that's a different subject. Once provided that you have knowledge of vocabulary, now you have to also know the strategies how to deal with it. First, you should know what are signposts. There are signposts in a text completion question, like which show you the direction in the two sentences or one sentence that is there in the text completion, or sometimes two sentences or two clauses, whether the clauses are going in the same direction or in the opposite direction. You should know first. So these are called signposts. These signposts are the clue words that show you which direction the clauses are going and what word should come in the blank. So let us look at the signposts now. There are four signposts. Let us look at a slide. One minute, please. The signposts are the same direction words. As you can see, the same direction words, contrast words, cause and effect, illustrate or explain, same direction words. Let us look at same direction words. If you get words like additionally in the sentence, or likewise, moreover, similarly, also, and as well as, at the same time, besides, just as, furthermore, if you get these words, it means the two clauses are going in the same direction. For example, John is not well. Similarly, His brother is also sick. So similarly is a word that adds to the point. In the same way, moreover, John is not well. Moreover, he feels very lethargic. So it adds. Additionally, also, at the same time, besides means in addition to, furthermore, these are the words which add to the already given point, already given clause. So these are the same direction words, which are also called complementary clues. Next, contrast clues. These show that the clause is going in the opposite direction. For example, although although John is ill, what do we expect next? That something opposite is going to happen. If I use the word although John is ill, he went to school. In the same way, but John is ill, but he went to school. Actually, he is not supposed to go, but he went to school. In the same way, conversely also means the opposite. Despite, despite his illness, John went to school. So it is going in the opposite direction. These are the contrast words. You have to look for these words when you are doing a text completion question. Like, however, nevertheless, in contrast, instead of, no, no longer, nor, on the other hand. Okay, so there is some benefit of something. On the other hand, if I say, then there is a disadvantage that I'm talking about. So that shows the opposite view. So ironically, while, yet, these are contrast words. Next slide, cause and effect. As a result, because, consequently, since, these are the words that show cause and effect. So he's ill. No, he didn't go to school because he's ill. Because, after because, there is a cause. So next, effect. Because he is ill, he didn't go to school. That is the effect. These show the cause and effect. Like, since, therefore, for he is ill, he didn't go to school. Since he is ill, he didn't go to school. And illustrate or explain. So these are the words or phrases which explain something, or which explain something in detail, elaboratively. For example, for instance, in other words, namely, in other words, if you say, we are explaining it in more detail, that is, in short, even colon. If you use a colon, it means the next sentence after the colon is the elaboration of the sentence before the colon. So these are illustrate and explain words. And strategies for text completion. Now, we are done with the signposts. We have to look at these clues in order to get, you know, the clue for filling in the blanks in the text completion. And the strategies. First, you have to read the sentence. You have to look for the signposts. If although is present, or but is present, despite is present, because they give us the hint to know whether it is going in the same direction or in the opposite direction. Then predict your own word in the blank. Don't look at the options. Predict your own word in the blank depending on the signpost present in the sentence. Then you have to read the choices. You have to read the choices, options, and then select that option which matches with your predicted answer. Then If you are confused between two answers, then always employ the process of elimination. That's a very useful technique to do a text completion question. And you have to eliminate the worst answers and then arrive at the correct answer without confusion. These are the strategies for a text completion question. First, you have to read the sentence, identify the signposts, come up with your own answer, and then look at the options and select the answer that is closest to your answer, predicted answer, and then employ the process of elimination. Let us look at the first question here. Most fans, this is a single blank question. Most fans dismissed the press release detailing the comedian's ill health as a hoax. Hoax means some prank, some deception, some tricking, as she had frequently blanked her audience by feigning, feigning means pretending, a physical ailment as part of her stage routine. As is cause and effect word. As is like because. Because she had frequently, you know, acted, pretended, or, misled her audience by pretending a physical ailment. Feigning means pretending. Because she has, I'm coming up with my own word like misled. She used to mislead her audience by acting, by faking. So that's why most fans dismiss the press release detailing the comedian's ill health as a hoax. Means as a fake thing. So now I came up with my own word that is misled. So let us look at the options now. Reconnoitered means explored, surveyed, which doesn't make any sense here. Hoodwinked means cheated. Hoodwinked means cheated. Made a prank. Lambasted is criticized. Vitiated means spoiled. Spoiled. So C and D don't make any sense. But keep B. Deride is to ridicule, mock at. So ridicule, make fun of, it doesn't make sense there. So hoodwinked is closest to my answer. Cheated, pranked, misled her audience with her acting, with her pretense. So B is the right answer. Okay, that way you have to, you know, first read the sentence. What is the signpost here? As is the signpost, which is cause and effect signpost, because it is giving the reason why most fans dismiss the press release, because they did not believe the comedian was really sick. Okay, now second question. While it is tempting to think that artists like Picasso literally see the world in a markedly different way, while is a contrast word. While he's reading the newspaper, she is cooking in the kitchen. So different activities. While is used for comparison. So we think artists like Picasso see the world in a markedly different way. That means they don't see it in a different way. It means next, what I'm going to get is while is there, no? That's why. Examination of the artist's creative process reveals dash movement from roughly realist sketches towards his famous cubist style through a series of ever more abstract steps. First, they do it like very roughly, like how an ordinary person does. Then they they come through a very complicated, step, a step of making it more abstract that people cannot understand, very complicated, complex, right, from simple roughly realist sketches to more abstract ones. So it's like, his work is like any other common man, ordinary man, but we think they think in a very completely different way. They look at the world in a completely different way. We think that way. So it should be, the blank should have the option, Like ordinary, like ordinary. That's what I feel. So let me look at the options now. Obsessive, no, it doesn't make any sense. Or ordinary is different from obsessive. Iterative, iterative means repeating again, doing it again and again to improve it. Doing it again and again to improve it is iterative. Makes sense. So, like ordinary people, they make errors, they make mistakes. They go from a rough sketch to a complicated one. So it makes sense, keep B. And let me eliminate the other options. Random movement, no, it doesn't make any sense there. Historical, not at all. Dicey means risky. Risky, not risky movement. No. So iterative is the right answer. So how did I find out? Because while is there. While. That which is the signpost. Okay, now let's go to the third question. This very important class of decisions can be described as dash because the chain of decisions that will be made in the future changes as a result of each current decision. So I understand that the decisions change in future. That's why this because is there. Because is the signpost. Because the decisions change in future, this very important class of decisions can be described as dynamic. I mean, something that is changeable. So I predicted my word changeable. Let me look at the options, which means the same as changeable. Important, no. Dynamic, yes. Something that changes constantly is dynamic, not static. Static is the opposite word of dynamic. Logical, no. Static, no. It's the opposite word. Prolonged, no. So dynamic is the correct answer for that. Okay. Now, fourth one. Although Aristotle did not have a high opinion of octopi, the plural of octopus is octopi, calling them stupid creatures. Okay, although is the signpost. Although John is ill, he went to school. So it is going in the opposite direction. Aristotle did not have a high opinion of octopi, but something should go opposite. Somebody should have high opinion on it, on them. So their reputation as problem solvers and critical thinkers has recently been dashed largely due to the antics of a Delhi zoo octopus named Andy, who selects what he wants to eat from a menu of 28 fresh fish choices. Oh, he's very selective, that octopus. Regularly ambushes his fellow tank mates just for fun and has to be kept in a specialized tank because he has learned to pick all traditional tank locks. So, very intelligent, very selective. It also makes fun of the other tank mates. That means Aristotle's opinion is wrong, who said they are stupid creatures, but their reputation now as problem solvers and critical thinkers has recently been improved. I think the word is improved there. I predicted that it should be improved. Now let me look at the options and see which option is closer to my predicted word. Ruminate is to think very deeply. Contemplate, like contemplate, to think very deeply, no. Bifurcate is to divide into two, no, it doesn't make any sense. Expedite is to speeden, to quicken some process. He expedited the chemical process by adding a catalyst. So expedite cannot be the answer. Ameliorated, yes, ameliorate is to improve. Improve. So ameliorated is the right answer. Scintillated, no, it doesn't make any sense. Scintillated is like illuminated. Scintillate is to make something shiny, bright. Okay, so now fifth question. It is a double blank question. Contrary to what might seem logical, what might seem logical means something that is going to be illogical now. Alpha males of many species engage in what might be dubbed forced charity. They engage in something called forced charity. What is that? Let me look at the sentence. The dash male bird, the blank male bird in a group, for instance, for example, certainly could command the lion's share of the food duty status, but it could command the lion's share. That means it is very important and dominant, maybe. So the dominant male bird should come there. Now let me look at the options. Preeminent, representative, subordinate. Subordinate is not right. Because it is a dominant male bird, because it could command the lion's share. So preeminent serves this purpose. So preeminent is correct because it could command the lion's share due to its status, but it doesn't command. What does it do then? But instead has been known to force feed other males. It feeds other males instead of taking all the food, which usually these males usually accept their gifts passively. They accept their gifts slowly, passively, somewhat unwillingly. So this display both the dominance of the alpha and the resulting dash of the lower status male, lower status male. What do? They accept the gifts passively. So, what is the answer? What is the predicted word? Resulting passivity, passiveness. That's what I feel. So, which word is closest to my answer? Contention means argument. No. Demurral means objection. Objection. No. Acquiescence. Acquiescence means accept willingly. Acceptance of anything passively, somewhat unwillingly, passively. So acquiescence is the right word. Here the but instead is the signpost, which helps us fill in the second blank. And here, for instance, certainly could command the lion's share is the signpost, the dash male bird. Through that, I came to know that it should be dominant male bird, so which is preeminent. Okay. Next is sixth question. The flu of 1918 infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, killing 3 to 5% of the world's population within 2 years. Worldwide. Although the dash was entirely unpreventable. Okay. Here, although doesn't work for the first blank, because we know it that it was worldwide, so it should be pandemic. Yes or no? Pandemic means that is rampant worldwide. So the pandemic should be the answer there. Was entirely unpreventable and particularly deadly. It galvanized leaders worldwide to develop what kind of strategy for dealing with mass infections? We should find out now. Leading ultimately to the creation of the World Health Organization. World Health Organization. They all came together to deal with this, with such mass infections. So, when all of them come together, it is congruous. Congruous. Some uniformity is there, some agreement is there among them. Germane is like apt, suitable, relevant, apt. So, apt doesn't make sense here because they're yet to develop a strategy, or they were yet to develop a strategy. Refractory is like stubborn, immune, which doesn't make sense. Congruous because all of them came together in agreement to develop a strategy. That's why congruous is the right answer here. because although it was unpreventable, they wanted to prevent it. Okay, let us look at the seventh question. It's also a double blank one. Just as consummate chess players, consummate is extremely skillful, extremely skillful. Chess players must hold in their minds just as is the signpost, just like. The extremely skillful chess players must hold in their minds the positions of each piece on the board and know too the ramifications of each move, ramifications, how each move, results in what, how each move goes. So must skilled politicians, just as chess players must hold in their minds the positions of each piece on the board and also know the ramifications of each move. So must skilled politicians also. In the same way, similarly, skilled politicians have an awareness of the choices at their disposal, whatever choices are at their disposal, in their own hands, and the ability to anticipate the consequence of their actions. Okay, they should also know the what would happen if they take an action now. They should have the ability to anticipate the consequence of their actions, how chess players know the ramifications of each move, the consequences of each move. Okay, now eighth question. This is a triple blank question, but still the signposts do work here. The pair's apparent antagonism. Antagonism is hostility, bitterness, resentful feelings. Could easily be written off as dash, pure and simple. Yes, antagonism could easily be written off as antipathy. Antipathy is hostility again. Not the other words do not make any sense. Yeah. But means it is going in, it's not simple antipathy. It's not just simple. People think it is antipathy. But it's not that. But further scrutiny means examination, careful examination, should render the fact that the rivalry also confers a fair amount of something. We don't know that unless we read the next sentence. In so far as it provides each an opportunity to derive inspiration and motivation from the other, it is a benefit, right? Insofar means as long as it provides each an opportunity to derive inspiration and motivation from the other, it is a benefit. So it also confers a fair amount of some benefit should be there. So mutual benefit is the answer in the third blank. So people think it is just antipathy, hostility, but further scrutiny reveals means reveal should be there in the second blank. I think it is patent. Patent means to reveal. Reveal the fact that the rivalry also confers a fair amount of mutual benefit as long as it provides each an opportunity to derive inspiration and motivation from the other. Okay, let us look at the last question. Soldier ants are wingless, sterile females that guard the colony and supply it with food. Now, soldier ants do two things. They are sterile females that they guard the colony, they protect the colony and supply it with food also. So, thus is a signpost. Thus, acting as both soldiers and laborers. Okay. Soldiers means sentries. The first blank should have sentries. And laborers as the fecund queen. Fecund means fertile, able to produce offspring, babies. So, as the fecund queen, how do I know it is fecund queen? Because I read the other. Uh, Produces enough dash to continually populate the colony. Populate. That's why I think it is the fecund queen, fertile queen. It produces enough what? Enough offspring, progeny. Progeny means offspring, babies, to continually populate the colony. Okay, let us look at the one last question again. Alarmists attribute the startling rise of student debt to the greed of for-profit universities. Some universities are for profit, completely profit-driven universities. That's why students' debts are increasing. But in focusing on the dash of these institutions, when they are profit-driven, they should think of only their profits. So, what kind of institutions they are? Avarice. Avarice means greedy. Avaricious means greedy. Avarice is the noun form of greed. So, but in focusing on the avarice of these institutions, the critics overlook the more troubling trend. Colon is there. Colon means what is that troubling trend is given next. The belief that education is just another commodity whose value can and should be quantified economically. How did I come to know it is commodity? Because its value can be measured, quantified economically. So they are treating it as a commodity. That is a troubling trend in American culture. So commodity is the answer. Okay. This is how you have to look at the signposts, predict your own answers, and then look at the options and go by the process of elimination in order to arrive at the correct answers. Okay? Yeah.